Thousands of demonstrators turned out in London to protest the G20 summit. That's where world leaders are trying to come up with an economic global recovery plan. That sounds exciting, huh? My next guest became an internet sensation after tearing Prime Minister Gordon Brown to shreds last week. Daniel Hannan is a conservative British member of the European Parliament. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, it's great to be back on the show, Glenn. Thanks for having me.
I love having you. You're plain spoken, and we don't get that from many politicians here in America. Tell everybody exactly. The EU is looking to expand their role in the world. We're looking for some new financial framework, which sounds delightful. Why should we be for this?
You know, it's the people who were watching your last interview with John Bolton will have got the point about the danger of creating a legal corpus that isn't anchored in any legislature or any nation. We're reverting to this kind of pre-modern idea of supreme law coming from its own authority rather than having to gain the support of the people.
Can you give me a little bit? We talked on my radio show the other day about it, and I find this amazing, that the people in the UK keep voting down and saying, no, we don't want it, we don't want it, we don't want it. But in Brussels, they don't really care. They think there's a polling problem, or the people are just too stupid to understand. True or false?
Yeah. I mean, the great example of this is the European Constitution. 55% of French people voted against it, 62% of Dutch people voted against it, and then 53% of Irish people in the slightly different version. And the response in the European Union was, they've got it wrong. They've misunderstood the question, we need better propaganda, we need better information. I don't know if you know that brilliant poem by Bertolt Brecht, which ends with the lines, wouldn't it therefore be easier to dissolve the people and elect another in their place? That's that's the motto of the EU. You know,
I'm not sure if I have the same translation.
Public opinion is seen as a
my version of that poem, I think it's like Soylent Green, it's people. I'm not sure if it's the same poem, but anyway. So they're getting together now, and it's an American joke. Americans right now are going, what? What's going on over in Europe is the protests. I've never agreed with these nut jobs. I mean, the people who are out in the street and they're, throwing stuff through windows and everything else, really destructive and anarchist. However, the movement is starting to grow a little bit because people are now starting to go, well, wait a minute, I don't agree with those nut jobs, but hang on just a second, I don't think I agree with these nut jobs either.
With the nut jobs inside, exactly. I mean, the nut jobs outside are not really in favor of anything. I had to do a TV interview with one yesterday, and I said to him, okay, I think I'm pretty clear on what you people are against, but what is it that you're for? And he said, oh, well, we're against international capitalism and greed and stuff. I said, no, I've got that, but what are you chaps actually in favor of? And he kind of stared at me with his drooping mouth. What a stupid question. And I just keep on waiting if there's going to be a moment where one of those guys outside the conference shouts, what do we want? And the others all kind of look at their shoes. Yeah, it's a good question. What do we want? You know, but you're right
they have to say it with an English accent like that. That's great. Well, I don't know. What
exactly.
should we
They'd
be
have
for?
to, obviously. Like a little more. Yes, a very good question. What on earth are we going to be for? Talking of which, by the way, I don't know whether you saw the love-in of your president and our prime minister. What a change from the way that you were slapping our guy around in Washington a couple of weeks ago. I think this is all because he had a cup of tea with the Queen, you know?
Yeah, and didn't he give, I mean, we have to explain presents to our president. He gave the Queen an iPod, which, first of all, I can't imagine that she's like, hey, yeah, I'm just listening. What? What's that, honey? But he not only gave her an iPod, she already has one. What?
Yeah, she's probably got an iPod. But you know what? There's a kind of serious thing about this, which is that it went down really badly in this country when Obama was too tired to be polite and kind of downgraded Brown and gave him the DVDs that didn't work. I mean, you know, the guy is a complete clot. I know that. We all know that in this country, but we don't want you guys to slap him around. That's for us to do, right? I mean, he's our clot. He may be an idiot, but you know, and it was then kind of, and it was then slightly rubbed in when the spin that came out of the White House afterwards was, oh, well, the thing is, Obama's really tired because he's been saving the world, you know, with the financial crisis and everything. you know, okay, I'm sure he's tired. Our Royal Marines in Afghanistan fighting the war that nobody else wants to touch are pretty tired as well. You know,
America.
That's not always the best excuse. But now...
I don't know how
now,
you...
Sorry, I was just going to say, look at the difference now. Look at the difference now, Glenn. The way... You know what he said today? Did you hear? I don't know if you saw the joint press conference where he said, we all owe Gordon Brown a debt of gratitude. And I was thinking, no, what you mean is we all owe Gordon Brown a debt. You know, just leave it at that.
All right. Very good to talk to you again, Daniel. Thank you very much. And, you know, I kind of liked you a lot more when you weren't slapping us around, because I just want to remind you. I mean, we kicked your butt once. We could still do it.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah. You know.
No, we can turn you off at any time, apparently. Okay, good news, comrades. Obama's cigarette tax just went into effect today. You know, the one that's supposed to pay for S-chip. Wait a minute, what? It's a perfect example of the great work of one of our glorious policies that we're accomplishing here on the Western Front. You can sign up for my free email newsletter at glennbeck.com and get all of the evil details. And don't forget, set your TiVos and DVRs, watch the show all week. Now, some people in the government seem to have a problem, you know, shredding the Constitution. It keeps going through the shredder. Now the world is giving these politicians power like they've never seen before. Rudy Giuliani gives his take on the big business and big clowns and their abuses. Coming up.